Angela, I'm going to start first by just getting a couple of comments that I need to make right off the top. The first thing, building on the comments of our CEO earlier today, is just the fact that I personally am shocked and appalled by the situation that happened here, and more importantly, very, very sorry. People are angry, and they have every right to be. I'm accountable for this situation here, and I'll tell you that I'm determined to make things right, and that's exactly what we're doing here on the ground today. In this situation, we're unable to validate the identification, and that's where the problems start. That's where we made our mistake. We phoned the police in that process. We should not have done, and for that, we're very, very sorry.
Why were they unable to validate the identification?
We have, as you probably know, many tools and practices for validating information. Some of them are internal, some are external. We went through those processes. We opened thousands of accounts a day, and in this case, we couldn't get the validation done. And again, that's where we overreacted, and we made the phone call to the police, which we should not have done.
What exactly was the problem with their identification specifically?
The specific problem, Angela, is that we couldn't validate it, and it wasn't sufficient information for us to open an account. And although we went through the steps that we would normally go through in these situations to find other ways of getting the account open, we weren't able to do that. You know, I think that we're all going to benefit from the police review here to find out exactly what was said by whom and what was done and where the specific breakdowns are, but I can't go further than that with respect to the customer's information specifically.
So I've looked into this to one of the federal bank regulators, and it is perfectly sufficient to have a status card matched with a birth certificate, as well as what the granddaughter had, which is an Indian status card matched with a health card. What was not right with their ID? Because I've looked into it and it appears to be sufficient enough to open up a bank account.
The information you have is correct. You know, in general, those are sufficient. In this case, we couldn't validate the identification. But stepping back, Angela, this is a mess from start to finish. Okay, the validation didn't work, and that led to the phone call, and the phone call led to the other circumstances. And we're responsible for the overreaction that took place in the branch. We're apologizing for that. It shouldn't have happened, and our energies are focused on ensuring that it doesn't happen again.
Who were the employees who made this call? How many people did this go through? Was this just a call made by the employee that Maxwell was speaking to, or was this decision made by several layers of management?
You know, from my perspective, this isn't about the individual employee that made the call. This is about me. It's about BMO, and it's about all of our employees, and ensuring that, you know, we have the tools that we need to make the best possible judgment decision in the moment, and in this case, we didn't do it. So for that reason, you know, there's been an intervention here where we are accelerating significantly the training and education modules that our senior leadership will take, that every member of the BMO team will take, and specifically our frontline teams as it relates to working in the front line with Indigenous communities. That's where the energy needs to go, and that's what we're focused on.
Were the employees or the employee that made this call reprimanded anyway? The public has been asking for them to be reprimanded in some form. Did that occur yet?
I'll repeat what I said before, which is this actually starts with me and the decisions that I make and the training capabilities and readiness that I put forward for my entire teams. As it relates to the branch team, yes, we have dealt with those teams, but this is about correction and making us all better, and those steps have been taken.
What type of compensation will Maxwell be offered, given this situation has caused him tremendous trauma, as well as his granddaughter?
We're focused on the apology to Mr. Maxwell, and would very much look forward to the opportunity to meet with him face to face, as I have requested in my personal apology to him, and that's a matter that we look forward to discussing with him personally.